Hey there. Welcome to episode 4 of You're Doing What Now? Um Today I'm kind of trying to speed run basically all the bookbinding stuff that we've done up to this point. Because I need to experiment a little bit more. Um so, last time we made this, it is a little crooked. So I want to try laminating some more cardboard. Um and then I want to cover it. Um Well, actually, I don't want to cover it directly like that. I want to go ahead and put it around a book block. So I want to, today I want to laminate the cardboard enough to make two covers. And then I want to make some book cloth big enough to cover the whole thing. Um, and yeah, I think I've got enough of everything to do it with. And I just made more wheat paste. And this time, instead of this black fabric, I want to use that for something else. Um, I've ripped a ripped pair of jeans. I have so many ripped clothes. Um, and yeah, I want to use this because I'm gonna make a little notebook. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I want to get the book cloth and the cardboard or the paperboard done and out of the way. So that because that stuff has to sit for a long time. I really want to let the cardboard sit long enough this time. I've got two strategies that I'm trying to use um, to keep the board from warping. Because I either didn't leave it to sit long enough, or it's because I used two different pieces of cardboard from different products, and maybe they stretch different amounts, and maybe that's what ultimately caused the warping. Um, so this time I've got a cereal box. It's from this Kroger brand um, cornflakes. This is a little bit thicker, so I only need two. And this is all from the same box. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna cut this down just a little bit, and then laminate it. Well, and of course I have to sand it, but yeah. And I got a couple new tools that should help. Um, and I've got a better camera setup. So I think we can do this one. And yeah, you're way up there now. And everything's visible. I'm using a different phone that the camera works way better. Um, let's see, I've got a steel ruler this time. That should work better. And somewhere I have a knife. I think I put it in my little tool drawer. Okay, yeah. I got this little craft knife. Um, I think it's gonna be easier to cut straight edges this way. Um, and yeah, what else am I thinking here? Yeah, and I've already marked the grain direction is this way. And the paper that I'm using for the notebook and for the thing I'm gonna print later, um, is just like half a sheet of 8.5 by 11, folded into signatures. So it just needs to be big enough to cover this. This piece is just big enough. I don't want to keep this ridge here. This is just big enough that I think it'll work. I think I have enough of everything. Um, and yeah, I don't remember if I already said this, but this is thicker, so I only need two instead of four of them to get me to about 2 millimeters. And I think that'll be enough. Let's see. I am getting text messages. Let me pause for a second. Okay. So yeah, first let's cut this down. I think I just want to get it. Probably just cut that off. And yeah. Let's see here. How far forward can I lean without getting my head in here? Maybe turn this up a little. Okay. still not perfectly great at this. A little wavy. That's okay. And yeah, I think we'll leave the rest of the squaring this up for later. Okay. So same thing with this one. I might try cutting it. I think it'll be easier being on this other side of the measure the ruler here. Okay. Got some scraps over there. And then yeah, we're gonna sand the wrong sides, glue this together, put it under weight, and that'll be it. Let's move this. Yeah, I don't want to scratch this up. Should be good. Good enough. Got my hands off. I'm getting short again. Oh boy. All right, what did I say we're gonna do? Glue these together. All right. I think I'll apply glue to this one and then lay it on top here. All right. Got our PVA. Oh, mixing bowl. Use this brush instead. All right, and then some paper just to not get glue all over my desk. Okay. This time instead of putting the glue straight on here, I'm gonna put it in this bucket. Use a brush, hoping that'll keep the moisture a little bit more even. It's probably more than I need. Hopefully not too much more. I don't want to waste it. Although I've probably more than I could ever use. Okay. Slipping and sliding. All right. Okay. Good and covered. There, got a little on my mouse. That's all right. And then I will grab this here. You can see it starting to curve away because of the moisture. Put this here. Let me try and line this up a little so now we're not too much wider here. There we go. I'm gonna lay it flat here. Okay. And then we're pretty even. Or maybe a little bit cross bias with the grain here. I'm off just a little bit. I think we should be okay. And then let's put this under weight. All right. I found that. I got it set up. We're good. Let's see. Next. So I can use one of these sheets. Okay, I creased this a little. Hopefully that won't matter. So I've got these big sheets. I need this to be bigger than the fabric I used. I need the fabric to be big enough to cover this whole cover. I think this is the same size, so we can use this as a reference. All right. This will be our reference size. It needs to be big enough to like wrap around this. Got my pants here. I already cut a little bit here to tell me about where it needs to be, just so I can get this down to a more wieldy, or more like a size that I can, you know, handle here. Something less unwieldy. Make sure I'll cut this. My fabric scissors here. Shoot. I wish. Let's see. There. Ooh. This does not need to be perfect. Here. Yeah. All right. I didn't forgot this has two seams. All right. Guess we can. I'm trying to decide, is it too much of a pain to rip this? Should I just cut it? Guess we could look size wise. I mean, this is one panel of this is big enough, right? Like plenty. Yeah. I think we can just cut this. Okay. And then it's the same here. I should have ironed this. But you know what? It's gonna be fine. I should stop doing this on this paper I'm gonna use. Set that aside for a second there. Ooh. Come on. You can see I'm a real pro. There we go. Like with everything, I almost know what I'm doing. Okay. I'm almost tempted to like, I'm tempted to keep this for like visual interest in the cover, but I think not for a trial project. All right. We got this. And then here. Again, it needs to be smaller than this, but bigger than that. Okay. Almost. I think we need to take maybe like an inch off of here. Maybe like that much. Hmm. Maybe not. Let's do here. I'm remembering you cut it again when you pull it up off the glass, so and then I'll get all of these. I'll worry about getting these like square once it's already book cloth because it'll be easier to uh, deal with once it has the backing. It's part of the point of making it into book cloth. Okay. And then, yeah, we'll need to take this off here. I mean, we have plenty, right, to work with? Yeah. Maybe like here. Okay. And then, yeah, I already figured out earlier that the warp is going in this direction. So this is all laid out correctly. The warp of this, let's double check, but I'm pretty sure it goes this way. Am I right? I'm wrong. Wait, am I? Yeah, it goes this way. Shoot. I feel like I knew this at some point. Huh, how are we gonna overcome this? I'm like, I could do two pieces of it, I guess, but like, yeah, I guess that's fine. If I do two. I really don't know. Shoot, I thought I was so like, it's like I have this all figured out. All right, I gotta double check. But yeah, I mean, okay, okay. Let's see how big I actually want this. About like that, maybe. Okay. Weird. Here we go. Okay. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Shuffle everything around. This is gonna be tricky. Let me write the direction on this. Yeah, okay. You grab another one of these. Or, I mean, honestly, I can use a Nah, let's use the same one. They're different brands. This one's ripped. Oh, they don't need to be. Yeah, they do. They need to be the same height. Don't know what I'll use this for. Probably nothing. Once again, warp direction. That's retracted. Double check. Warp direction. Okay. So this is gonna be awkward. But so like I'll have to do it maybe like this. We'll see if this works. I don't have bigger paper, so God, I should have ironed this. Maybe I should go do that real quick. I gotta find the iron. Yeah, let me look real quick. Okay, I could not find the iron, but I did find this little steamer that we have. To both cameras. That I just warmed up. It only takes a second. This is gonna be hard to do. Yeah, maybe like this. Oh, it's going. I don't really want it near my screen. um, yeah, I don't know why you can see this, but this, in a lot of applications, this is so much better than the iron. For this, I mean, not really. These are some pretty deep creases. So obviously, this has just been like sitting in the bottom of my closet forever. Um, they don't fit and they're ripped. Okay. Okay, let that side relax. Ooh, try to get this side. This is such an awkward way to do it. And this might not be perfect, but it'll at least be a little better. I'm freaking like, ooh, it's getting hot. The steam is hot, believe it or not. All right, hold on a sec. Pull this down. All right. I mean, it's getting a little better. This is the content you came for. Okay. Oh my god, I'm steaming up that camera. Didn't even think of that. Okay. I'm gonna shut that off. Aim it away from the monitor. I mean, that's better. And I'm gonna have to get it moist anyway. I'm gonna put it on the glass, so okay. Yeah, I think that's a lot better. It's a lot better. Okay, that's great. That worked. We've done it. Let me go dump this out real quick. Okay, we're down here now. I guess I could bring this a little closer. All right. Um, I think I think I've got everything that we're gonna need here. We don't need the glue yet. First, let's wet this and stick it down. Just like before, throw your spray bottle on the ground there. Go. Okay. Good with that. I think. Um, It's like, oh, you could do more here. No, you're not supposed to soak it, but especially the corners. Okay, should be good. I'm gonna dry this. And then I don't have a lot of room to work. Oof, for the other part. I think I can. I'm just gonna spin this. Okay. Okay. Man, it's really. All right. This is just our sticky paper. And then, all right. Man, I gotta glue this up. All right. I'm so like anxious. I just made this more wheat paste today. It's the stuff I made from last time went bad. Only last a couple days. I made less this time. Okay. I should just get it with my fingers, honestly. Let's see what this is like. I've already got a little water in here. Hmm. Come on. I might need a little more water. It's kind of, well, let's see. It's like balling up a lot on me. That might be fine. But hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if this is gonna work. I need more water. I would use sink water, but I don't want to get it again. And it's not very much, so. I'm worried that since it's more than one piece of paper, it's not gonna, like, the tension's not gonna be right. Because it's not gonna be able to pull taut across. Man, yeah. This might get weird. That's what experimenting's for. I don't know what else. I guess I'll have to get bigger paper. Which sucks because this is what I have. Um, okay. This is more paste like now. Man, still these big gobs. I maybe just didn't make my wheat base carefully enough. Okay. Ooh, all right, all right. Okay. Hmm, come on. Oh, come on. We can do it. Okay. There we go. Okay. And then gently. I guess I could like layer the paper a little bit here. I'm worried that's gonna create like a weird like bump, but I think that's better than the whole thing wrinkling and not working. Okay. I don't really know why I'm worried about getting this on the glass because I'm getting it on the glass anyway. Like, okay. I think this is why Das bookbinding uses a dowel rod. This bottom edge is hard to keep like straight and like not crinkle the paper up. Okay. That's not perfect, but uh, I don't love how crooked it is. Okay. Okay. That's much better. I'm glad I redid it. Okay. Hopefully this works. um yeah, I'll pick up tomorrow, probably tomorrow night. Or maybe the day after because I might be busy tomorrow night, but we'll see. Um but I'm glad I've got this all down and drying. I'll get things cleaned up here and yeah, we'll see how it goes from here. Hopefully hopefully this little fix works. All right, we're back several days later. Um and I've got the cardboard out of the it's not a press under the weight that it was under. Not perfect result. So having this slightly misaligned um was a problem. um you can see it's warped and it's warped diagonally um because the grains aren't aligned. But I mean, useful feedback. I think I have to put glue on both sides. I think to balance these forces out. Um because yeah, I only put glue on this and then it's stretched on that inner side of it. It's stretched out and then when it dried it pulled back in and I think that is pulling this. Um so I think if I get both sides relatively equal moisture, I'm worried that I'm gonna have way too much glue, but I guess I'll just try and go light. So yeah, we're gonna try and do that real quick. I only have one more cardboard or one more cereal box like ready to go for this. I guess I haven't been eating enough cereal. Oh, I meant to have it like that. I wasn't on screen. Right, so I've got this one. Um, and yeah, since these are more the same size, maybe it'll be a little easier to keep them aligned. We'll see. I don't know. So like, I don't want to toss this, but I don't know what to do with it, so I might end up tossing it. Okay. I got a different mat. That one before sucked. It came all scratched up. It doesn't like it like immediately takes scratches. It's supposed to be self-healing, but it's not. Um so yeah, this one I think will work a little better. Um Dang it. Crooked. And not very much, but a little. You can see the side's wider. Oh well. I'm probably gonna end up cutting these edges anyway, but I feel like this is at least good practice with how wonky my stuff has been. Oh, I should be doing it like this. Okay. Hopefully. And underglue this go or underweight this goes. All right. And then yeah, we'll hopefully this one will work better. All these experiments, I hope they pay off. And if they do, I'm gonna have to start eating more cereal. So okay. Now we're gonna cut out our new denim book cloth here. See how that went. it was kind of a pain to cut, but I think overall we're okay. It feels nice. And I don't think this is going to be a big deal. Also, it stayed taut. Like, there's not a bunch of wrinkles. There some are on the edge, but none like on the actual fabric. Yeah, I think it's gonna work. All right, so I've let that cardboard that we laminated together dry for about a day. I pulled it a little while ago, and it's um see, it's still a little bit warped. I feel like it's not as bad. I wonder if I'm not applying the glue like perfectly evenly. Might be part of this. Um, it might just be the nature of this cardboard. Um, so I think I'm just gonna have to move forward with a little wonky here. Um, but this actually isn't quite thick enough. So I went ahead and I prepared um, two more, you know, sides of a cereal box here. This time I'm gonna try not sanding it. I'm gonna see what happens. Um, to keep all of the like stretch and pull forces even, I think I'm gonna put the previous one between these two. Um, and glue them stacked like this. Um, and I'm gonna try only applying glue here and here, and then laying these on. That way all of the stretch and pull is here, and it's all pulling. Yeah, I don't know. We'll just see. Um, I was trying to look up other like glues and stuff you can use. And like I can't find a lot of information online trying to like do this process. Maybe someone else has something that I've seen. Usually, if I see someone working with cardboard, they're working with corrugated cardboard, which I specifically don't want to. So I mean, at least I'm hopefully adding some new information to the internet here or something. I found a little bit of information from like a Warhammer person talking about cardboard warping. Their uses are a little bit different, but really the conclusion that they came to was to not use PVA and to use um, I think nitrocellulose or some sort of other polymer like non-water based glue. I think that those aren't really appropriate for bookbinding applications. If you know better, let me know. But um, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna let it dry some more, and I think we'll just have to see what we get. Hopefully it's straight enough. And this doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna get gluing. Uh, never know. I don't like it. My workspace is so chaotic. All right. Mm. I wish I had a cap for this. I just have rubber bands and a little bit of saran wrap. I wish I had one of those round brushes that look a little bit better for doing this kind of thing. I don't know if I'm applying too much. I'm trying to keep it even, and it's harder. It thins out so fast, it's hard to keep it even when it's less. So I don't know. The consequence will be there. Okay, that's fairly well covered. I've noticed a lot of times I'm not quite getting my edges well enough. Okay. Mm, try and keep this straight. Okay. Okay. It's one side done. Okay. Just gonna get glue on the outside a little. That'll be okay. I think I'm gonna need more of that. Okay. It's gluing time. Yeah, I think I have so much on there. It's like really not that much. Right. Then line her up. Okay. It'll definitely be thick enough. And hopefully stay kind of straight. Let me grab My boards aren't straight. Huh. That could be part of our problem. I'm gonna try clamping on this time, and maybe the clamping course will be enough to lay them straight. Come on. Oh, I just realized I've been big mode. I should have been little bitty in the corner mode. I'm off camera. I'm over here. And I don't want to clamp it to my desk. Ugh. That started. It's awkward. Jeez, yeah, the gaps are crazy. That sucks. I don't know about this. I didn't realize my boards are so warped. Hmm. How annoying. I don't have other ones. Maybe I need to do these on like this and this side. Just warping all over. Everything is always warping. Okay. Well, maybe this has been my issue the whole time, is that my boards I'm using to clamp aren't straight. But I think pinning them down like this does seem to be working. Okay. Looks like that. And I think the gap is just from the actual board. Maybe. I don't know, man. Whatever. This is what I've got. All right. Well, I'll be back in the future to show you how this didn't work either. Um, Now let's keep our fingers crossed. We'll see. All right. It's been, I think, 3 days. I left that in my little makeshift press there. Um, and I've got it out. It's uh, it's definitely much firmer, which is nice. It's about like the first one that I made. However, it is pretty warped. Um, it's warped, and besides just being curved like this, you can also feel variation and bumps. So like cutting it down even, you can feel the waves in it. So not going great with the experiments here. Um, I think for this first one, I'm just gonna have it be kind of wonky. Maybe I'll be able to straighten it out a little bit with the book cloth. And yeah, I really more than the curve, I mind the bumps. I don't know if that's caused by like um the boards that I'm using to press it together being weird, or if I like put too much glue, or if it's because I only put glue on the inside, or if it's because I didn't sand down these outer ones. Yeah, I'm really not sure. And like the overall curve maybe is I used more glue on this side than on that side. Um, yeah, I don't know. But I'm out of cereal boxes, which are the only thing I regularly get that with the grain direction is tall enough for the books that I want to do. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna have to try this because I don't want to wait till I've gone through enough cereal. And I don't want to just buy up cereal that that kind of defeats the purpose. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I might end up at some point buying some, biting the bullet and buying some book board, just to get to work with, a flatter board and see how that goes. Um, and Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll continue to experiment with these, as I just kind of have more board to laminate and see if I can crack the code on what it takes to get it straight and smooth. Um, the other one, I kind of like tore it up. I was trying to, because I wanted to see if I could use this board. So you can see I was trying to scrape it off without damaging it too much. It's interesting. This, I don't have the waves as much. Um, so yeah, I did feel like I was putting quite a bit of glue on there, but that was because I want to keep it even. But I think that, yeah, like I said, maybe made this wavy. Um, so I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll figure it out. I might also ask on Reddit to see if that's the thing is whenever I search for this particular way of reusing board, I can't find anything. And I mean, honestly, I kind of think that's more web search being broken in the modern era than it is uh no one having done this and put it on the internet before. Um but yeah, I'll see if I can find anyone has some ideas on there. Maybe can guide me. I mean, otherwise I'll just keep trying. And who knows, maybe no one has put this on the internet and I'm providing a valuable service here. But yeah, we'll see. Like I said, there's probably gonna be other problems with my first attempt at binding something. So, I probably shouldn't worry too much about this. Um, when it comes to actually buying board, um, it's like it's not that expensive, but then getting it shipped is. And then to me, I'm like to justify paying the shipping cost, I need to get enough of it, to so that I'm like order one board and then pay the shipping and then order another and pay the shipping. It feels like I should get like, five or more. And in some places they come in that amount anyway. I'm also trying to not buy it off Amazon. Um, and it's looking like, maybe like 30 or $40 to get like between five and eight, pretty big sheets of board. And I could make like, if I keep making the same size, that's enough for like, um, 15 to 20, books, which comes down to like a dollar or two per book, which isn't that bad, but it's, I don't know, it's a little bit of money. And I don't want to spend too much. Yeah, I can potentially sell these if they come out okay. And maybe I can recoup the cost there. Um, not something where I'm really trying to make a ton of money, but I just want to pay for my hobbies. And yeah, I don't know. I have thought about if I did want to make notebooks, it would be cool to keep filming the whole process and then like put together like little videos that are like the whole history of making like this one notebook, and like putting a QR code or a link or something that you get along with the notebook if you buy it, so you can just see like how that one was made. I thought that might be cute. I could give them little like names and make that part of the like URL, and run that through like my main website. um but yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'd have to sell them for a fair amount. I don't know if people are going to want to pay that, but you know I mean, it might be worth it. And I have a friend who like sells stationery, and they, you know I ran into them and just mentioned that I was getting into bookbinding, and they're like, oh well, you could sell notebooks through me if you want, blah blah blah. I don't know how serious they were about that, but I've considered it. But you know what? Before I get to any of that, worry about any of this, I have to turn this board into a book, at least one. Um, and yeah, I would make them just for myself, but I don't really use notebooks. I have notebooks, and then they're neat, but I don't write like that. If I'm gonna write, I use my typewriter. Um, and and like I can type and then bind it, but I don't know. So we'll see. These are my dilemmas. Um, and part of the worry is if I order a bunch of board that I'll make one more, and then I'll just have this stack of book board traveling around with me for years. Another option, I forgot, I didn't think of this, but another option um would be, I have some old screens, like window screens, that I could cut up and like do some stuff with some wood. Um, Cut down some pieces of wood and make like a mold and decal for like paper making, which I want to do anyway, but I can make like a bigger one. And I could try recycling like my junk mail and maybe some regular corrugated cardboard and stuff, recycling that directly into a board, into a paper board. But I think that it's going to be very tricky to control the um the you know width. That's not the width, the thickness of it. um Especially, I don't really have anything to easily, I'm like measuring this by eye. It's hard to be precise. But it'll be hard to control the thickness, and I think then I'm going to run into the same kinds of problems if I'm not drying it properly. I'm not sure the right way to do that. But I can play with it. Maybe it'll be fun to make some videos about that. And like I said, I do want to do some paper making anyway. um it's something I did a long time ago, a little bit. I don't know, my wife expressed interest in having some homemade paper for some stuff she wants to do. um so yeah, I don't know, I could see about that. And I feel like I know with homemade paper, like there's no grain direction. And I kind of worry that that'll further complicate this whole trying to have a straight board situation. But yeah, it might be worth experimenting with. And I mean, kind of the cool idea there is then I could make the pages and make the board all through that process and have a fully like, I hand recycled this whole thing. I'm getting ahead of myself again. Uh, but yeah, we'll see. Um, but for now, next thing I'm gonna do, I've actually already started working on the video for this and like the process for it. I'm gonna make some paste paper that will go on the like inside covers. Um, and then probably the video after that will be actually like cutting and folding and cutting and measuring the signatures and putting like maybe even sewing the text block together. Um, and yeah, we'll see what I combine into what videos. I don't know the right length for these videos to be. Because they're kind of just this long continuous process. Again, I keep worrying about them being too long, but I kind of feel like either you like this or you don't, you know, this kind of thing. It's maybe more of a put on in the background kind of video. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Like part of what I think is kind of cool about showing it this way is showing like, even though I do cut out some parts of it, like I haven't been showing like making the wheat paste and stuff. It's just kind of seeing like all the hours that go into to making something. Not that I need that really like to prove what I've done, but like just kind of in general, I think that's one thing that's kind of cool about like anything that you get that's handmade or um something like that is just like the amount of time that goes into it and like the depth of like I mean part of what like I'm learning here is, I mean, of course this maybe laminating cereal boxes isn't the typical way to do this, but like um just the depth of like, oh, there's 800,000 things that can go wrong with like any part of this thing that you're doing. And people figure that out and figure out the best ways to do things. And that's just kind of a neat thing people have done. um One of the things that I've realized, hold on, I'm sinking again. uh yeah, I remember having this moment looking into I have like an old Apple II GS computer that was my dad's, that I had a lot of fun playing on when I was a kid. And so I got it from him and like um I fixed up some parts of it and played around with, and I've looked at like, oh, I write software as a profession, and maybe I could write some software for this and do something fun. And like I have this like I'll have this idea of like, oh, it's like it's older technology, so it'll be easy to learn, it'll be more simple. But like the opposite is true, really. And looking at the manuals and the techniques and the languages and how things were done. And um you know I remember coming to this kind of realization of like uh you know the complexity of like humans, of people, hasn't changed over the centuries. Like I mean, on an evolutionary scale, sure, but like in terms of like the past 10,000 years or so, I think that we think of modern people, like modern contemporary modern day people, as being more complicated. But it's the same brains we're using. And now of course, like going back to like the 80s isn't even that long ago, but looking at something like that where the technology has changed radically, and it's like people will just use all the time they have to make the best thing that they can, and that thing's always going to be complicated when you really get down to it. And and that applies to like bookbinding too, like looking back into all of this history of like all of the experimentation and time and like thought and trial and error that goes into all of this stuff, to create these very intricate things. And I think that kind of also gives us this perspective on different cultures, and on like the narratives of the world that we live in. Looking at yeah, I mean, just our society, and like we have this idea. Again, I mean, it's not, and everyone doesn't think this way, but it is a prevalent idea, and I think it is like intentionally kind of pushed socially, this idea of like, oh, we're the peak, especially like, Western United States, like we're the peak, like we did all this stuff and blah blah blah. And it's like all of these societies are complex, and and all of the ones that have been oppressed and put down, and like powers of be have like tried to suppress and hide and erase, um all had like very complex things that they were doing, and very worthwhile things that they're doing, and still are doing to this day, maybe just less publicized. Uh and like they have knowledge, and they like they have so much, and um it's perhaps like not given enough credit. uh and yeah, I mean, there's a ton there. And I think the people are cool. uh so yeah, I'm gonna keep I'm gonna keep stumbling around here on the internet. uh and just this show, like, I mean, I'm not like a stupid person, like, and it takes a lot to learn these things. And I think that it's so fun and interesting to throw yourself into it. Um, so yeah. Anyway, this is a long enough end segment. Who knows how long this video is by now? I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me on what episode was this? I think this was episode 4 of You're Doing What Now? I missed the stop button. I don't know if I'll cut this out in post. I might leave it. Bye.